Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rachel Wild. I'm a life coach and tarot reader, and I help people transform aspects of their lives so that they can level up into the next level of freedom for themselves. For me, I've done it time and time again with my body, with my mind, with my emotions, my energetic body, right, and my spirit. I have literally transformed every area of my life, and it's what I do. It's what I'm good at. I'm a Scorpio. I'm born in the fall, and this is what I do. I transform time and time again, and I'm freaking good at it. Okay, so let me tell you guys about compassion today. It's really a lot different than how we are kind of taught to think about it. So I really want to give you guys some clarity. So first off, big thing I want to say, compassion is actually an energy. It's an energy that you embody. And really quick, just to give you guys some context about what you typically hear about compassion in the mainstream world, the dictionary says that compassion is the self-pity or concern for another's misfortune or struggle, basically. You know, what I've experienced from compassion, that's not really what it is. I feel like the dictionary was actually describing empathy in that situation, because it gave an example, you know, putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. And that's what we do when we're being empathetic, when we are, you know, feeling concern for somebody else's misfortune. That's not really compassion. So I'm going to tell you what compassion is. Compassion is an energy that runs through us. And because I've experienced the feeling of compassion and a lot of my life is built around this energy now, I can explain to you what you can do to evoke this energy within yourself, okay? So if you guys haven't seen the video I just recorded on what it really means to go within, I would go check that video out because it's going to help you with this. So once you really get a good internal sense of your inside landscape, right, I want you to sit there, and when you don't think any thought about a situation or somebody, that's really going to help you out, because it's going to tap you into the inside so that you can sense this energy. Compassion is the absence of judgment or thoughts about another person. So when you see somebody in your life, you know, are you immediately identifying them by a bunch of external characteristics and even like naming them in a negative way? I'm just going to say some things here as examples so you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you grew up in a household that was very conservative, very religious, and was opposed to people being gay. And now when you see somebody who is gay, your mind flashes, you know, a lot of thoughts about that person being gay. You know, it could even say, well, the first thing that comes to your mind, you know, gay. It could be, and then it could be even a bunch of string of negative things that you picked up from somebody else, that you were, you know, the family that you were raised with. This also goes for skin color, right? You know, are you walking around automatically, you know, are you labeling, you know, that person has white skin, that person has black skin, that person has brown skin, you know, that person has more yellow skin, you know, whatever, okay? And then is there a bunch of associations coming to you as soon as you identify that and label it in your mind. See, walking around with the energy compassion is literally the absence of all of these labeling thoughts, and it is the absence of subsequent judgments that come up because of these labeling thoughts. If you see somebody who's overweight and, maybe you grew up in a family where your family bullied people who were overweight. This is an example. Your people shamed people who were overweight. And so immediately you think fat in your mind, and then a bunch of judgments start coming into your experience after that. Okay, so having the energy of compassion is literally holding a thoughtless space and just taking in the other person. Just taking them in, and your mind is not chattering and babbling and labeling and judging and discerning or whatever. You just are purely experiencing this person, and you are not having any thoughts about them one way or another. A lot of times it goes the opposite way too. A lot of times we might think having compassion is, seeing somebody who's overweight. Maybe your mind goes fat, and maybe you go, you want to build this person up or something, and, oh, hey, it's so great that you love and accept your body the way it is, and da-da-da-da-da. And you can certainly participate in telling positive stories, but that's not compassion. Compassion is literally taking this person in without the stories, without the judgment, without the labeling, without the discerning, without the automatic reaction tendencies that you may have to go in a positive thought form direction about it or a negative thought form reaction about it. It is literally an empty space where you can just hold a genuine, pure space for them. Like, pure space is the absence of thought. So you're holding this space for them so that they can feel fully seen and fully heard, fully accepted and fully loved. You don't have to tell them that you fully love and accept them. You can show them by being compassionate. So somebody goes to tell you a situation that you don't agree with, or somebody wants to tell you a situation and that situation triggers you into labeling it somehow and causing you to judge it somehow. When you step out of all of that and you just live your life where you just hear the person. It's not your job to make them agree with you. It's not your job to make them wrong and you right, or them right. It's not your job to fix them. It's not your job to solve their problems. It's none of this. The most profound thing that you can do is act compassionately, and that is to act softly and gently and lovingly and accepting towards this other person by being totally absent of thoughts of judgment. Totally. When I started implementing this several years ago, I realized that when I held this space, people felt a lot more comfortable to talk to me about anything. People would talk to me about their deepest, darkest secrets. Because when you really pay attention and you get present in these conversations, you'll notice that somebody will tell you something that they think you could judge them for. And they'll kind of pause and they'll look very intently at your reaction to see your reaction. And they're looking for very minute body cues, because judgments in our mind can show up in our body. And so it could be the twitch of a lip, the blink of an eye, the wrinkle of a nose. But when somebody tells you something that is vulnerable, and they have a fear of being judged because of it, they look at you for signs that you may have internally judged them. And if they pick up on the fact that you just did, they'll be very quick to divert the conversation or backtrack or give you a disclaimer about what they said. They may even play it off as a joke, that that's not what they really meant or whatever, because all of a sudden they don't feel safe. So the beautiful gift of embodying a compassionate energy is that you are a walking safe space. Everywhere you go, you create safety for people to be vulnerable, to share their truths, to be expressive, to be themselves, to be who they are. Okay, and people love that energy. I know that I'm a freaking person, and I love it when somebody else holds that energy and that space, because it makes me feel, you know, safe, and I want to keep sharing with this person. I mean, it's such a good feeling to feel like you've been seen and heard, right? And so these are the gifts of compassion for other people. Now, what are the gifts of compassion for you? Well, think about it. If you're not walking around with a bunch of labeling thoughts and subsequent judgments that come from your mind and subsequent stories, your mind is chattering a lot less. So that means that you don't have a mind that's so bogged down with this ceaseless chatter, thoughts. And especially with negative judgments, they actually cause a negative physiological reaction in our body when we think them. So you're saving yourself mental baggage and emotional baggage by embodying a compassionate energy. And so you actually get to feel a lot freer, a lot lighter, which if you guys have been following me for a while, you know I'm always talking about feeling freer and lighter. That's what I love. Who doesn't? Who doesn't want to feel freer and lighter, right? And better. And the truth of the matter is we freaking can. And we freaking can in so many different ways. And so embodying a compassionate energy is one really, really great way. And it's easy to just start implementing it and doing it now. You know, when our minds are not thinking a bunch of mean stuff toward other people or about other people, you just have so much more space to actually use your mental faculties in ways that serve you a lot better. You get to be more creative, you have more space in your life to tap into your intuition, to occupy your time with things that do serve you, that drive you forward. And what are things that serve you? Well, that's a tangent. That's a topic for a different video. But anyways, I hope this really helps some people understand compassion a little more, because I have to tell you, I was blown away at the dictionary definition. When I saw it, I was like, this is empathy. What are they talking about? I don't think they know what compassion really is. And I'm just saying, you know, this is the kind of energy that people like Mother Teresa and Gandhi, they were able to become a literal walking embodiment of this energy for large periods of their life. They went their lives doing this, right? And when you have this energy embodied within you, it makes you a powerful light to where you can go and help a lot of people who are suffering, who are in the dark. Why? Because you are not affected by it, right? Because you get to stay steadfast in your place of compassion within you. So it is my intention that this video really helps spread some love around the planet by helping folks understand what compassion is. And that you can access it anytime. You can tap into it now. You can start practicing this when you go home with your family. with your children, with your husband or your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your aunts, uncles, moms, dads, whatever. It's going to benefit the people around you, and it's going to benefit you the most. So I would start it today because it's something that you can get started on right now. All right, everybody, my name is Rachel Wild. If you want to reach out to me to see if I have any openings available, do so. I am accepting new clients right now. I will only be accepting new clients for a short amount of time. My life is getting increasingly busy, and I do have other bookings going on in my life. So be sure to take advantage of that. All right, everyone. Love, peace, joy, blessings, happiness to all, forever and ever. Amen. I love you. Goodbye.